Hi, welcome back for another Tool Time Tuesday. I'm Melissa Muir. In this video, I'm going to show you something that comes up not too often, but it definitely comes up occasionally. And I have a friend who bought a ring down south, so it's one of those southwestern silver rings with a piece of turquoise. So in this ring, they have done something that's fairly common, and they've used sawdust to help lift the stone. Well, they've lifted the stone much too far, and then to make matters worse, they use super glue. And quite honestly, there might be a time and place for super glue, but it's rarely in a ring like this. So what we're going to do is we are going to dissolve out the super glue. And I've taken some acetone, and we are just going to soak the ring into this. Because this is sterling silver, the acetone is not going to hurt this. And we're just going to soak it until we dissolve all of that glue and we can get it to where we can chip all of that stuff out of there. I definitely suggest that you use some different safety precautions. Make sure you've got some glasses, you've got your gloves. In this case, the vinyl's not perfect, but I didn't have any more of my nitrile gloves. The acetone will eat through your vinyl, so just be aware of that. So I'm just going to take this ring, sit it face down, and soak it. You can see that I've been soaking for a little bit, and I'm starting to get down into that sawdust. And we're just going to keep this going until we get all of that glue removed. So at this point, it's been about 15 minutes that we've been soaking this. And I don't know if you guys can see or not, but there's actually bits and pieces of sawdust in here. I'm using a little bit of a brazing rod just to kind of scratch at the surface of this to see how soft it is yet and how far down we are. We still have quite a bit of a lot to get out of here. So I'm just going to put this back and continue to soak it. It has now been probably about an hour and a half since we started the process with the acetone and soaking the ring. I did start off with trying it with a Q-tip or a cotton swab, but I could quickly see that it was going to take much longer because of how thick that super glue was. So let's check and see what our progress looks like now. So you can see all kinds of little bits of sawdust in here, and when I lift this up, we now have a nice little pile, and looking inside the ring, it is completely cleared out. So we have a really good start on this. Now that we have this, what's going to need to happen is we are going to need to figure out how high up we actually need to lift this stone. Now, there's not a hole drilled in here. A lot of times with my stones, I don't like to leave my back solid so that I can actually pop them out or be able to get into them to clean or whatever else the case might be. In this case, we are not going to have that. So we are going to need to have another method of being able to pop this out. And a lot of times that method is a little bit of dental floss. So one of the things that I want to do is I want to open up these little serrated bezels. And the fact that it's serrated is actually going to be really nice. It'll be easy to open. And you can just take your pliers and pull those bezel teeth open just a little bit. It's not going to need to be much in this case, thankfully. Then I'm going to take a piece of waxed dental floss and just place it right there in the opening so that I can push my stone down. Now this is a little tight up here at the top, so I'm going to pull this back out and I'm going to open these teeth just a little bit more. I'm pretty comfortable with that. So once again, lay my floss on here and take our stone and set it in. It has a little bit of an odd shape to it. There we go. So we're a little tight over here, and I believe that that's probably why they lifted this so much with that sawdust underneath it. So I'm going to pull this back out. What I want to do is I could even open this up just a little bit more, but I think we're okay. We do definitely want to have this stone lifted. So what I'm going to start with is a piece of 14 gauge wire. Now the reason I'm doing a 14 gauge wire is inside of this bezel is really tall, and our stone is not that thick. We do have a high spot on this, but it's really not all that big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create just a little base for this to lift up my stone. I'm not going to do it exactly. I'm not going to solder it into place, but I do want it to fit fairly firmly in here. So I'm going to use my round nose pliers, and I'm going to kind of rough out a little shape that will fit into this. Now this is 14 gauge wire. That's pretty thick. I don't normally do a 14 gauge lift. However, this particular bezel is really tall and my stone is not that big. So I do need something that's a little bit larger than what I would normally use. Often I will start with probably 20 gauge, maybe 18. So let's see if that fits. Not quite. So I need to adjust this ever so slightly. We're almost there. Okay, so now that we have this in here, I'm going to take my floss and we're going to check the fit of this one more time. I'm going to push my stone down, and I can see already that here on this side we are a lot higher than we are on this side. This side I can actually push this metal over, as well as the tip and at the back of that. But here on the side I would not be able to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the thickness of this just a little bit using a hammer. So I'm just going to place this onto my bench block, and with the flat end of my planishing hammer, I'm just going to hammer this down a little bit. Now I did this only on the one side, and because the ring is still open, it did open up a little bit, and I definitely don't want that. So I'm going to close that back down ever so slightly, just pushing it closed with my pliers. We will try this one more time. That has a really good fit in there. It's nice and snug, which is kind of what I want. Then we are going to take our floss and one more time fit our stone into place. Push that down. And taking a closer look, at this point I'm actually very happy with what I see. There's a curve that goes to that stone, and you don't want to cover up too much of it, but you just need to have the opening slightly smaller than what your stone base is. And at this point I'm definitely seeing that. I see that I have room to push this over ever so slightly over that stone. We still have quite a bit of height to this stone, so we didn't diminish that at all. But now I have a material in here that is not going to wear away or get moldy or anything like that under the stone. It will firmly support it by how I have that completely supporting the outer ring or edge of this. There is no rocking to this stone. It doesn't move in any way. So at this point, I would be pretty happy to take out that floss, set my stone in here, make sure everything is down where it should be, and we are ready then to set the stone. So hopefully you can see here what I'm seeing. See how these little points kind of stick up? You can see the kind of that dark shadowing in there, and that tells me that we're not yet to the stone and we have room to move over that. So what I'm going to do is I have my bezel pusher here. I have polished this, and then I've sanded it back down, I believe to maybe like a 400. So we don't want it highly polished, otherwise it will just slip off. So I'm going to hold the stone down in one hand, in my fingers here, and then with my bezel pusher I hold this into the palm of my hand, but notice that here I'm not going to go too far. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll place my finger upside down on top of whatever it is that I'm doing. And then I can use my finger and my palm to come in and push this metal up against the stone, which is what I'm going to do here. So now I am pushing at a down and kind of at a 45-degree angle. So it's down and against the stone. Now I've done one corner, and you see that that stone still moves, and I'm going to come to the opposite side of that. Whoops, so we slid, and because I've polished this the way that I have, there was no damage to the stone right there. Thankfully, because turquoise is really soft. So now I've got those two sides set, and now I'm going to come on the opposite ends. See if we can get him back into there. So then we come to the opposite sides, and again, we're just going to gently coax these pieces down and over our stone. I do use quite a bit of pressure, so don't be afraid of that, but just be cautious because you want to be aware of that slipping. We definitely don't want to slip. So I continue to work this opposite sides. So you kind of work your way around a clock. So we just did that bottom end. Now we'll come back up here. And we come over to the opposite side. I'm going to come to the top here. And I'm going to come down to the bottom. And I'm going to continue in this manner until I am happy with how everything is. At this point, so before, my stone would fall right out. We are no longer falling out. There is no movement here. I'm very happy with how this looks. I can see that there are still a couple of points here that are sitting out that I need to push in. As I run along this, I can kind of feel there's a couple that are still sitting out. So I will just work my way around the stone now that everything has been pushed down at least once and set. And I'll just work my way around like so. Run my fingers around that. The stone is now very secure. There again, there is no movement whatsoever. Finally, I will take my burnisher and burnish along the edge of this. That will further push my metal down to my stone, and it will also give me kind of a shiny edge here along the edges of those. And then I'll hit it like with a thing of Zam, and then I'll finish polishing up that bezel and the stone, and she's good to go. Now just keep in mind there are a lot of different ways that you can accomplish this same task. This just happens to be one of the methods that I prefer to use. But there are other things that you can insert underneath that stone in order to lift it up as well. But like I said, this is my preferred method. So hopefully that helps if you ever run into a problem like this. Again, the cause of this was the fact that they had put the sawdust in there, which wasn't necessarily the problem. The problem was that they filled it so high with glue, and then we had such a polished finish on the bottom of that stone that the glue would not adhere, and then the stone was able to easily pop right off. And because everything was set so high, you weren't able to bring the bezel over that stone. So a little bit of acetone, and again, check your metals. Acetone has no effect on the sterling silver. We were able to soak that for probably about an hour and a half, and we were able to dissolve the glue, pull out the sawdust. I then did a ring spacer. You have to sometimes adjust those, so keep your hammer handy. It's a lot of test fits and modifications there. Anyway, I hope that helps, and I will see you guys next week for Tool Time Tuesday. Thanks for joining me.